Ghosting and blocking is a form of self-care. This one is a little bit difficult for me because while I have kind of accepted it, it still is, hard to talk about. Today, we're going to be getting a little bit real, emotional, sentimental. I'm going to be dropping some gems today and you don't want to miss any of it. While I'm a little bit scared to film this video, I do feel like it will help a lot of young girls who are in their 20s that are up and coming. My name is Janice and this is the advice that I wish I had when I was entering my 20s and going through my early to mid 20s. I recently turned 26 in October. I'm gonna link my birthday vlogs up here in case you want to check them out. Since I turned 26, I've been reflecting on what 25 was like as well as the rest of my early 20s. I do this because I want to make sure that the rest of my 20s are gonna be even better than my early 20s. I've learned, I've grown, and I've gotten to know myself enough to the point where I know what I want and I'm going after the things that are going to bring me joy, happiness, and growth. I want us to sit down and really experience, document, and reflect on the growth that we're constantly having. I was watching Lindsay Ray's video yesterday and she mentioned in one of her videos that in your 20s there's just so much change that is going on, and sometimes you can feel like your entire world is just being thrown around in loops. Even your day-to-day routines change. And so in filming this video, I hope that we can just be vulnerable in a judgment-free zone. Without any further ado, these are the 25 lessons I've learned in my 25 years of life, as well as lessons I wish someone told me in my early 20s. No one will ever treat you better than you. I've been thinking about this one recently because I've spent all of my 20s single. If you ask any single person what the biggest lesson during this season is, they're gonna tell you it's the lesson of self-love. Especially within the past couple years, I found that treating myself to a dinner date or an experience that I've always wanted to have, even though I'm there by myself, those experiences have helped me discover who I am and have made me stronger for it. While I would love to have a companion to accompany me on dates and exploring the world and all that kind of stuff, I also understand now more than ever that I don't need someone to do that with me. In learning how to treat myself with love, patience, and care, I've set a standard for what kind of love I want to receive, and if the person I'm looking to spend the rest of my life with doesn't come close to that standard, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be a no for me. Take more baths. Prior to last year, I had taken maybe 3 baths in my entire life, and that was like in high school and also in college because I didn't really have a bathtub that I could soak in. I didn't really take any baths. So make that a priority in any apartment you try to get, to have a bathtub or some sort of like makeshift hot tub. When I tell you this is the greatest form of self-care there is, it absolutely can be life-changing. And also get bath salts, get bath bombs and bath oils, and really treat yourself on weekends. Ghosting and blocking is a form of self-care. I know a lot of people frown upon ghosting and blocking people, and I truly respect that perspective. For me personally, I believe that if there's no way for me to contact you, then I'm less likely to contact you. Especially if it's someone who made me feel less than, then I kind of feel like I owe myself the choice to choose whether or not I want that person to have access to me. And setting that boundary is one of the most empowering things, even though it might be scary at first. But trust me, closure doesn't come to you, you have to take it. Blocking or ghosting can be a form of setting healthy boundaries. Your social media presence can be weaponized by people who want to see your downfall. So be mindful of everything you post on the internet, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't show up as your real self. It just means you should be more conscious of what you're putting on the internet. Getting inappropriately touched by men who are most likely strangers is very common. It's okay if you freeze up in the moment. You're not weak for not speaking up. Practice to stand up for yourself when you're in private, so when it does happen again, and it will, you can express yourself more boldly and clearly. Friendship breakups feel worse than romantic ones. Don't let anyone minimize your pain. Be a woman of your word. Don't be flaky. Don't be irresponsible. Don't be someone people can't count on. Even if the people all around you are that way, don't copy them. Don't make it a habit. You are your own person. You are not a mirror. You will get depressed, lonely, and sad all at the same time, even when everything in your life seems to be going pretty well. This is an important lesson God is trying to teach you. Money, family, friends, and anything of this world will never fulfill you. The only thing that can is your relationship to God. Journal as much as you can. You will learn so much about how your brain works, and at the same time, you're going to be making memories for your future self to go back, reflect on, and see how much growth you've had. Having peace of mind is better than all the riches in the world. Never put money or any kind of material thing above your peace of mind. Say what you mean and mean what you say, but also be open-minded to shifting your perspective, because the truth is never concrete. Be a woman of honesty, transparency, and integrity. Being free to do anything you want is the one thing you do have. Use it wisely and don't give it up for anything or anyone. Start a business. There is nothing as fulfilling as earning money from a business you started. Whatever you do, work towards having a business where you work for yourself and don't have to depend on someone else's business for your well-being. You will fail at every single business you start until you turn 24. And then that business is going to be successful. I've had more than 5 businesses that I tried to start fail, or I would just give up on it, but all those businesses ended up teaching me everything I needed to start the one that was successful. So time is never wasted. Pursue what you love and everything will fall into place when the time is right. Date yourself. It will set the standard for how you deserve to be treated. Show up for family no matter what. It is the most important thing you have. When I got my first job out of college, my younger sister was graduating within that same week, and I was starting that job that same week. At this time, I lived in California and my family lived in Maryland. So I would have had to travel all the way back to Maryland to attend the graduation. And so it was really hard to ask for time off. But thank God my dad really forced me. Like, he literally was like, this is not a question. You're coming home for your sister's graduation. Because of that, I came home, saw my sister graduate from high school, which was priceless. Fast forward 3 months down the line, that same job fired me. And so in thinking back, I was like, imagine if I hadn't attended my sister's graduation and I put my job ahead of family. How icky would I have felt about myself in that moment? And that was when I decided that there's no job on this planet that is worth me missing moments with my family. And that's also one of the biggest reasons why I decided to move back to Maryland. This one is a little bit difficult for me because while I have kind of accepted it, it still is, hard to talk about. But reaching the age where everyone moves out of your home is gonna be painful. There's no way you can prepare for it, but just know that the pain you're feeling is not gonna last forever. Also, seeing your family kind of separate with divorce is also painful, but you're gonna learn so much about yourself and what you do want in a long-term romantic relationship. Just because things don't turn out exactly the way you thought they would doesn't mean things aren't great. It just means things are different, and different doesn't immediately equal bad. So try to switch your psychology to think, hey, this isn't how I expected it. It's just different, but it's also really great. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. Attend community college. It doesn't matter what college you attend. I strongly believe that our destinies aren't rooted in what college or university we go to. I think God always makes a way. And also, college debt is real. Don't take a bunch of college loans to attend a prestigious school just because of the name. You will get fired. It will break you at first because it's a different kind of rejection. But trust me, those rejections are going to lead you exactly to where you need to be. It's all about lighting. Anything and anyone can look beautiful in good lighting. One of my many businesses I started was photography, and in photography you learn very quickly that it's all about lighting, and natural light is the best light. Wear tighter clothes. It's flattering to your body. I personally didn't really like the attention I would get from wearing clothes that were a little bit too tight. And during my early 20s, I think I just kind of like stayed away from all of that and wore more like baggy clothes, boyish clothes. And now I think I'm in my feminine era and it's beautiful. Like, I love having tight clothes that really frame my body and I feel beautiful in. So wear tight clothes. Spend money on clothes, not just on your room. I am obsessed with my living space. I love decorating my room. My room is my sanctuary. I've said this 100 times on this channel, but I would not spend as much money on my actual clothing ever because I'm just like, who cares what people think? I honestly did not really care about clothes until like this year, and more recently I've been obsessed with just like shopping and fashion and like how to style yourself. I am trying to have the same energy I have for my room for fashion, because it does matter how you look, and how you look can affect how you feel on the inside. Closed mouths don't get fed. Ask for what you need even if you think you're not gonna get it, and the worst scenario that could happen is you're exactly where you were 5 seconds ago. This happened during my birthday trip. If you watch the vlogs, you probably know this, but we had a whole situation where our Airbnb was not up to standard, and we ended up like spending at least like 3 hours outside an Airbnb in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. When I was on the phone with Airbnb, they were like, oh, like, we're so sorry, blah, 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 blah. Is there anything else we could do? And at the time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to use my words. And I asked them, I was like, hey, it's 4 a.m. We've been out here for about 6 hours. Literally, our flight landed at like 12 a.m. So we've been out for a while. We're really hungry. What can you do for us? And guess what? They paid for our breakfast. That taught me a big lesson, and that affirmed my belief in this phrase: closed mouths don't get fed. Literally. The one lesson I've learned that has literally shifted my life in a whole different path than I expected is this. This is a quote from C.S. Lewis's book, Mere Christianity. C.S. Lewis is the author of the Chronicles of Narnia book series, and he is famously known for being a Christian. We all want progress, but if you're on the wrong road, progress means doing an about turn and walking back to the right road. I'm gonna read that again. We all want progress, but if you're on the wrong road, progress means doing an about turn and walking back to the right road. In this case, the man who turns back soonest is the most progressive. No matter how much you believe you've invested in an experience or in a choice or in a job or in a school, but you don't really feel fulfilled by it, you don't feel happy, you feel like this is the wrong road you're on, then it's completely okay for you to turn around and make a decision that actually fits you and what your goals are, because progress on the wrong road can only lead to more dissatisfaction. And even if you're starting at the bottom on the right road, that's way more progress than continuing down the wrong path. I've read this quote on this channel before, but I just love that it gives you permission to, you know, not feel like you've wasted time when you decide to actually pursue what you love. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and actually learned something from this, and I hope that you take at least one thing from this video and try to apply it onto your life. I want us to continue the discussion in the comments below, so definitely comment below your age and also share one lesson that you've learned. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.